Yo, what is up, guys? For today's video, I am going to be talking about what happened at the HWC Finals Championships, fighting for $2.5 million in Hollywood, California, this past weekend. Basically, what the rules are is starts off in pool play. We have 16 teams, 8 teams from North America, and then we have 8 teams from just foreign countries, just scattered. We have one from like Australia. We have a few from Europe, and then we have like 2 from Asia or something like that, just scattered, foreign countries and all that. But as the helicopter flies over my apartment here, I'm going to be trying to tell you who is in the pool. We've got Counterlogic Gaming, Epsilon Esports, Cloud9, and Team Skyfire in one. And then in the other, Group C, we've got Elevate Wildcats, which is kind of interesting that they changed their name from Elevate to Elevate Wildcats. Denial Esports, Fab Esports, Team Immunity. Group B, we've got Renegades, Evil Geniuses, Team Infuse, and Team Exiles. And then in Group A, we have Team Liquid, Team Allegiance, Excel Esports, and Chosen Squad. Yes, I did just go backwards from Group D to Group A instead of Group A to Group D, because we gotta, keep things a little interesting here. We can't, do the same thing, every single time. So starting off with Group D, just because I feel like it. Counterlogic Gaming has, the biggest story around them with Lethal leaving EG, which he didn't really ever have a good reason. He just went with his gut since EG never really lost a LAN event. He didn't have a good enough reason, but just because he felt like he didn't, he couldn't win the HWC championship, he felt like leaving, and his decision has really paid off. To be honest with you, I mean, he has the proof. The proof is in the pudding. The only time that he lost to EG was, the first time that he was on the team, his first event, which was at X Games, and it wasn't that far away from CLG beating EG. EG just was able to nudge it out, but in the NA regionals, we saw CLG just completely show that they are the dominant team. Lethal did not make a mistake, and he should be where he is right now. So. Basically, the rules in the pool play, how it works is only 2 teams from each pool can move on to make it 8 teams in the quarterfinals. We have 2 North American teams in each pool to balance it out with the European foreign teams. So the first team, no surprise, is going to be CLG making it into the quarterfinals, going 2-0. Second team is going to be Epsilon Esports, which is a surprise because that means that a North American team got knocked out before they even got into the quarterfinals. So one North American team got knocked out of pool play, and that is Cloud9. Cloud9, which is Assault, and I think Cloud is on there as well. And then you have Denoxide and Hysteria. They were Trigger Spawn before, and then they got under the organization Cloud9. So they went 1-1, and Epsilon went 1-1. So how it happened was they had to have a tiebreaker here, and I'm not sure how it worked. They didn't play each other because the way that tiebreaker worked in the previous tournament is they didn't play each other. They just they went off of stats or something like that. So for whatever reason, I'm looking at the stats right now. Cloud9 had the better stat sheet, but Epsilon Esports got to move on. So like I said, I'm not too sure if Epsilon Esports beat Cloud. Okay, I can see how this works. So both of them went 1-1. So if Epsilon Esports beat Team Skyfire, and no. If Epsilon Esports beat Cloud9, but Cloud9 to get their win only beat Team Skyfire, that means that because Epsilon beat Cloud9, Epsilon would move on. So that's probably what happened. Because map win loss, Epsilon has 4-4 and Cloud9 has 4-3, which 4-3 is better than 4-4. So in that sense, Cloud9 should move on. But if Cloud9 lost to Epsilon, which is probably what happened, then they should be knocked out, which is what happened. Epsilon Esports is Jimbo, who's just a beast. Snipe Drone, and then we have the Buck Twins, of course. I'm not sure. Team Skyfire, they went 0-2 and 0-6, so I don't really think we should talk about them. They didn't really do anything. They must be an Australian team or whatever, because I haven't heard of them. But yeah, we have Counterlogic Gaming and Epsilon Esports from Group D moving on to the quarterfinals, so we have 6 teams left to talk about. In Group C, the 2 teams that made it out was Elevate Wildcats and Denial Esports. No surprise there. The 2 foreign teams got knocked out. Both foreign teams, Fab Esports and Team Immunity, went 0-2, and they went 0-6 in map win-loss. And I do know Team Immunity. I want to say that Septic might not be on that team. Or maybe I'm thinking of Infuse, but I remember a foreign team besides Epsilon that came to America, and they did pretty decent. I think they got like 19th or 21st in a tournament at one of the Major League Gaming tournaments when Halo was on the MLG circuit. But I can't remember who was on the team. I think I'm trying to think if it's Infuse or Immunity. I want to say it's Immunity, but I just can't think of who's on the team. But anyway, Elevate went 2-0. Denial went 2-0. Both teams went 6-0 in map wins and losses. So they get to go into the quarterfinals. No surprise there. Moving on to Group B, where we had Renegades and Evil Geniuses. Moving on, no surprises there. Evil Geniuses, though, is showing a little bit of a struggle. They went 1-1 instead of 2-0, and they won 5 and lost 3. I do think we had a foreign team, maybe Team Infuse, that took a game or two off of them. Team Infuse came close to actually making it through, but just because they lost 2 more than EG, they were knocked out. Because we did have a tie, wins and losses. EG went 1-1 and Team Infuse went 1-1. But just because Team Infuse had a worse map wins and loss record, they did get knocked out, and Team Exiles got knocked out as well. They went 0-2, and then map win loss, they went 2-6. So Renegades and EG are moving on, and the last pool to talk about, Group A, Team Liquid just coming out of nowhere. Definitely a underrated team. Just because they haven't performed well, definitely a good amount of veteran players on the team. They went 2-0 and 6-0, so they're just destroying. Team Allegiance with Nated, the guy who everyone wants to win. He's been to over 60 events, hasn't been able to win a tournament. Not sure why that is. It's definitely not because he sucks. I mean, he shows every tournament that he puts up on the stat sheet. He just he communicates the most. He does the most OBJ. He's a slayer. He doesn't miss. So not too sure why he can't win an event, but unfortunately he just didn't do it this time. Spoiler alert. But yeah, they went 1-1 in wins and loss, and map wins and loss. They went 3-3, and then the other 2 teams was Excel Esports and Chosen Squad, and they didn't do too well, so they got knocked out. So the only American team that got knocked out was Cloud9, which is a little bit embarrassing. Just kidding. So now we're going to be going on to the quarterfinals here. We had Elevate going up against Epsilon. They 3-0'd them and knocked Epsilon out. Unfortunately, there's no consolation, so one team didn't get 8th, one team didn't get 7th, so it's like it's 5th through 8th, then it's top 4 and top 3, so that's how the place is going to go. For whatever reason, we're just not doing consolation anymore. And then we had Renegades versus Allegiance, which was a nail-biter, 3-2 going in favor of Allegiance, knocking them out. Renegades, of course, being the team with Ninja on it and Spartan on it. Elevate also, just to let you know what the roster is, it's Straight Sick. I think Nemesis is on that team, along with Goofy, and maybe Rain is on that team. I think it's Rain, Penguin, Straight Sick, and Goofy. I think that's the roster. And then we have CLG going up against EG, and this one was huge. CLG just showing that EG is just nothing but trash to them, and they just 3-0ing them like it's nothing. They get to move on, and then the last match was Liquid against Denial, a very close 3-2 match, and Denial nudges it out. So now we have the semifinals going on here, and all 4 teams are guaranteed $250,000. Third and fourth place, they all get $250,000. So that's a huge amount. Each player getting a fourth of $250K. That's good money for a console tournament. That's really good money. So now we're going to be going into the best of 7. So a team has to win 4 games to minimum to move on. So semifinals, the first match is going to be Allegiance against Elevate. Allegiance wins 4-2, so Elevate gets knocked out. Allegiance goes to the finals, and then CLG wins 4-2 against Denial. So now, we have CLG against Allegiance, and just to let you guys know that the Denial roster is Pre-Devinator, Boo Boo Doo Boo, Boo Boo, please take my Doo Boo, and then we have Hook from Call of Duty, who played the game 2-3 months and is now just like a beast at it. And then we have Contra, who used to be known as Little Town. He got like 3rd or 4th place in the Halo 4 Global Championship, the FFA tournament, with like $2 million. I think it was like their first tournament that 3v3 ran, and the other tournament where Ace won against Pistola. And so the finals, I'm just gonna come out and say it, cut and dry. It wasn't that good, to be honest with you. Naded, he wanted to win. I don't want to say that he didn't want to win, but CLG, they 4-0'd them in the finals. I mean, the games weren't even close, to be honest with you. We had, the Slayer game 50-22 on the rig, and then we had Strongholds on Plaza. I think it was 100-15. The first game was a 3-0 on Coliseum. They did tie the first time they played. They did tie 1-1, so it looked like Legions was going to put up a really good fight against CLG, maybe even beat them in the finals. But after the tie, they replayed it and they got 3-0. So 3-0, then they got 50-22, and then they got 100-15, and then one more game to play, and it was capture the flag on Fathom, and it was the closest game. They lost 2-1. They actually almost tied it. They were seconds away. L-Town was running a flag, but just because there's no overtime, just because you're holding the flag game like in previous Halo games, they just ran out of time and they lost 4-0. So CLG is your world champions for season 1. They get $1 million, so each member gets $250,000 with tax deducted and all that stuff. And then Allegiance, they get $500,000 for getting second place, so that's not a bad handout either. So yeah, first place CLG. I'm no surprise there. Lethal, Frosty, Snakebite, and Royal 2 with Coach Clutch. It doesn't get any straightforward there. They just they're just dominant the whole entire tournament. They came to play, they prepared. And the most valuable player award went to Naded, surprisingly. I know a lot of people get upset that people vote for whoever they like the most. Not like somebody will vote. They think that they're not the best player, but just because they like them, like their personality is the best, but their skill isn't the best, they'll vote for them. I know a lot of people get upset about that. That the MVP award doesn't go to somebody that won the tournament, but Naded, he's a beast. He puts in the time and effort. He has, so many different accounts, and each one is like a champion. So, I mean, he puts in the time. He's dedicated. He probably plays the game more than anybody, to be honest with you. But the guy is a beast. He puts in the time. Just can't win in a tournament. I think he deserves the MVP award. Of course, I understand why people would be upset that somebody that won the tournament didn't get the MVP award, like World 2 or Snakebite. But people will vote for who they like the most, and that's Naded, including myself. He's my favorite pro, not going to lie. But that's going to be it for the tournament. The next thing that's going to be going on is the Pro League. Bravo announced it. He said that the dates are going to be TBA, to be announced, and they're not saying how it's going to work for. He said it's going to be similar to CWL, the Call of Duty World League. How that works, there's going to be like online tournaments and stuff like that to qualify. But when everything gets situated, everybody gets home from their flights. They're gonna announce more stuff. Another thing that got announced at the tournament was Warzone Firefight. Firefight definitely is something that a lot of people have been wanting since Halo Reach. Basically, how this game mode is going to work, it's going to be regular Warzone with AIs. Let me rephrase that. It's going to be 8 people versus AIs is basically what's going to happen. So instead of the I think it was like 24, 12 versus 12, right? It's going to be just 8 players versus AIs, bosses, and all that stuff. Your rec system is going to work the same. It's just going to be Spartans versus AIs, and it's going to be fun stuff. So yeah, that's basically it. I don't think they announced anything else, and we're just gonna have to see what the details are on this Pro League and what's gonna happen. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos coming soon. If I got any of my information incorrect, please correct me in the comment section below. If you have an opinion on this tournament and how it went and how it ran, comment down below. Oh yes, another thing, observer mode. They were testing it out this tournament. If you guys notice, it's a new spectator mode, mod on it. There's a lot more, features on it. A lot more for people that like to look at stuff while people play. Like, what weapons does that guy have? Is that guy dead or alive? Blah blah blah. Just everything that you need, to look at is there. It's just you're just gonna have to check it out because it is a really good spectator mode. And I'll link it in the description below. I'm going to link it in the description below so you can check out the new spectator mode. It's really cool though. So, that's going to be it. I'll catch you guys later and have a good one. Peace.